Ivan the producer. Yo, what is up, guys? What is good with you guys, man? Happy Monday. Let me actually go ahead and hop on this real quick because I want to see the comments. So let me go ahead and hop on, see what's cooking up. Give me a second. Awesome. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What is good, guys? Happy Monday. First and foremost, guys, I do have something special for you guys. But I wanted to, ask, how was your day? How was your guys' Monday? Did you guys trade today? Did you participate in the markets at all today? Austin, what's up, bro? Did not forget about you. I've just been busy, bro, these last few days with clients and cutting hair and just having like very short amount of time. But I will get back to you, bro. Um, but guys, blast this link out, blast out this call. I do have something special for you guys. A lot of the times, when we're looking at the charts, sometimes we can be confused on what we're looking at, or maybe we just need a little bit of help or guidance or a little bit of structure, a little bit of a list of a checklist we can go ahead and run through, and that's mainly what I want to go ahead and talk about today. What helped me in 2025 was really understanding of the trader who, like the trader I am. Are you a counter trend trader? Are you a trend continuation trader? Do you like to trade smart money? Do you like to trade levels? Do you like to trade J7? Do you, what strategy do you like to use in order to find opportunities in this market? That's something that I want to talk about. You guys already know. I'm a heavy levels trader. I love the starting points. I love the head and shoulders, and I do love to incorporate a little bit of smart money and sprinkle a little bit of liquidity on that structure to give me some confirmation. When I have a whole system and checklist that I run by, I have a whole set of rules that I run by. And there's something that I'm there's in my head. I'm thinking, why doesn't everybody have this stuff in place, right? In order to get better. Well, one, they don't have enough reps to understand, what's going on, and what they need to fix. And two, a lot of the times, it can be ego. There are a lot of you guys understand. A lot of you guys can understand the bad habits. You guys know the bad habits are there, and you guys continue to do the bad things. Now, I'm not trying to point fingers, right? Because I've done that as well. I've definitely, year one, a whole lot of bad habits. Year two, a whole lot of bad habits. I was doing the bad, continuously doing the bad, the bad things. Year three, we start to shake things off. Year four, we're starting to understand what the the plan in play, and now we're working on to year five, and now things are starting to get ground traction. Now I understand, myself in the markets. I understand what I need to see, and how did that help me? What did I do to help me with that? I had a system in place, you know, and I feel like everybody needs that system. So that's what I want to go ahead and talk about today. And I want to talk about the things that you need to see to find a quality setup, right? What do you need to see? Thank you, Carlos, for blasting that link. I see it in the chats. I appreciate you. Everybody, I'd appreciate it if you guys can go ahead and send a screenshot and blast out this link inside the chats. Let them know that we are live and that we got something special cooking up. Right now, let's go ahead and get into it today. I'm going to see if I can actually use, because let's see. Give me a second. All right, cool. Here we are. I want to see, just give me a sec. I'm trying to see if I can get this PowerPoint for you guys. Give me a second. All right, let's go. We got it. We got it. It's going to take some time getting used to the OBS, but hey, we here, baby. We here. I love it. All right, guys, let's go. Let's go ahead and get into it. Right? So this is the PowerPoint that I got cooked up for you guys today. Now, I feel like this is beneficial, right? I want you guys to understand what we really need to see. Not even what I need to see. What do you need to see? What does Carlos need to see? You know, Jose, Miguel, Fernanda, what do you need to see in order to feel comfortable in taking these trades in the market, right? I can give you the setup and the blueprints, and we can talk about the blueprints all day long. You know, my YouTube has the setups and the blueprints, and we've talked about it over and over and over and over again. But now we need to know what does Carlos need to see in order to feel comfortable taking these trades, right? And if it doesn't have these things, then we can't be taking these trades. We have to start shedding off the bad skin and the bad habits, and start letting the new skin form and start holding on to the good habits, guys. Okay, so where is my setup? Where are my confirmations? Okay, the real question, right? Before every trade, ask yourself, what do I see? What do I need to see in order to feel comfortable, right? Is it liquidity? Is it a break of structure? Is it a head and shoulder? You know, is it the trend? What do we need to see in order to feel comfortable? I don't want to just go based off of feeling. I don't want to go based off of vibes. I don't want to go based off of hope, right? If we're in the chats and we see people looking for buys and sells, I'm not gonna FOMO into any trades, right? I'm focused on what my chart says, right? I'm not making decisions off of a single candle, right? I want to make decisions based off of my strategy, trend, and my setup along with my confirmations, right? Simple. I don't want to overdo it. I'm not looking at somebody else's plate trying to find, oh, what does his setup look like? Oh, his setup's this and that. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust mine to make sure that we're both in line. No, we're not gonna do that. Okay? Stick to what you want to see and wait for these things. 2026, guys, is about patience and waiting for the things you need to see. Okay, comfort comes from confirmation, not confidence, right? Confirmation could bring confidence, but comfort comes from confirmation. There's going to be times where you know this trade may be bad because of X, Y, and Z, and it's not going to make you feel comfortable. You're already, before entering the trade, you're not going to feel comfortable, right? The trades that you want to enter are when you see everything you need to see. Checklist from 1 down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything is checked off. That makes you feel comfortable. Seeing every checked off your checklist should bring confirmation, right? And the confirmation brings uh, confidence, right? So I hope that makes sense. The two types of trades that we take, we only focus on two setups, right? When it comes to levels, I only focus on two setups: the BOS continuation setup and the head and shoulder reversal setup. And the head and shoulder reversal setup goes hand in hand with smart money, right? It's like smart money's little brother. Okay. Both follow the same framework, which is trend, liquidity, structure, and location, right? So these are the two setups that I want us to focus on heavily, right? If you can understand these two structures, then you will be able to understand trend, liquidity, structure, and location. BOS continuation. Guys, send in your screenshots. Let them know that we're getting you right. Everything that you want to see and see for yourself for 2026. If 2025 wasn't the year that was for you, if you didn't get the goals, if you didn't hit the goals that you wanted to hit, now it's time to lock in, guys. January, we're in January, the first month of the year, 2026. It's time to lock in. Get your people on this call. Get your city, get your state on this call, guys. Everybody needs this information. Send in your screenshots, guys. I would greatly appreciate it. BOS continuations, right? Follows the higher time frame trend. Before any continuation trade, always ask yourself. Let me see. Hold on. Hey, you guys can hear me, right? Before, okay, yeah, we're good. I was like, bro, I totally forgot to turn on my mic. Thank you, so. I appreciate you, so. Thank you so much. Before any continuation trade, always ask yourself, do we have clear bullish or bearish trend? Do we have a strong move creating a break of structure? Is this break of structure in trend direction? If this is correct, find your starting point and we can start looking for more opportunities to continue the trend. If we do not have a trend or if we do not have a BOS, there is no continuation and there is no trade. Okay, very simple. BOS, continuation, what do I need to see? To take a break of structure continuation, I need to see a break of structure in trend, right? If the market is in an uptrend, I need to see the market break structure to the upside. If that happens and I can see that, then that's giving me the confidence that's saying, hey, the market wants to go higher. Let's continue with this uptrend. Okay, so BOS in trend direction, market pulling back to my entry zone, which is my starting point, and your entry is at the starting point, and that's our supply and demand. Right, continuations equals patience after strength. Right, so I can't draw on here unfortunately because we're not on Zoom, right? But we have to mentally see this, right? If the market's continuing higher, every time it breaks structure to the upside, we have to stay patient for the market to come back down to our buy zone. We don't just click the buy buttons because the market is buying. No. We want the market to pull back to a designated zone, which is for us our starting point, or for us our head and shoulders, so we can go ahead and continue the market. So continuations equal patience. You have to be patient for the market to come back down to you, right? Now, these are just simple drawings, right? I've gone through this many times. This drawing, you guys have seen this drawing on multiple occasions, every trading lock-in, every call that we've done. But this is a simple sketch of what the BOS continuation trade looks like, right? And we will cover this on the charts as well. We will continuously cover this, but you guys can go ahead and take a screenshot if you need to, and we can go ahead and move on. But this is what an uptrend continuation would look like, right? If the market's in an uptrend and we can see the BOS to the upside, I want to wait at my designated buy zone, which is my starting point, right? Which is my demand, the last selling candle before my break of structure to the upside. So as the market is up here, I want to wait for the market to come back to my buy zone so I can then look for more buys in the future. Same thing for my bearish continuation. If the market is bearish and we are in a downtrend, and we can see the market just gave us a break of structure to the downside, that's letting us know the market does want to continue in that downward trend, right? We can find our last buying candle before the BOS. This is my starting point. This is my supply. We wait for the market to pull back to my supply so we can continue that bearish trend, right? Give me a 2 if that makes sense. Now, I know a lot of you guys already know this, but I just want to make sure since I can't see who's really on my call right now. Right? The head and shoulder reversal. Reversal requires structure and most importantly, and most times, liquidity, right? Again, I wish I can draw for you guys so I can give you guys some examples as I talk, but we're going to have to use our visuals in our minds, right? So reversals require structure and most times liquidity. So I need to see a clear BOS or liquidity sweep followed by a change of direction. So think about this, right? If we're in an uptrend, I need to see the market break structure to the downside and then change direction to the upside. If I can see that, that's letting me know the market is ready to reverse back to the upside. Okay? If we do not have a change of direction, we do not have a reversal. And if we do not have a change of direction, we do not have a trade. Okay? Give me a 10 if that makes sense. Very, very important, guys. A lot of you guys, this change of direction, if we don't have this, this is going to be the most important confirmation this year for you guys. And you guys are going to have many breakthroughs, whether it's feeling dumb or feeling like, ah, man, I got caught right there, right? Because you're going to notice, oh, you thought this was a change of direction. But once you reanalyze, you're going to realize, oh, we never got this change of direction. I shouldn't have taken this trade. And that's going to give you clarity. So you're going to feel down at first. But once you get burned, you don't need to get burned again. You don't have to continue to put your hand over that fire. We wait for confirmation, guys. I want to be in the markets just like you do. I want to ride these trades just like you do. But if we do not have a change of direction, we need to stay patient. Okay? Head and shoulder confirmation. I do not enter on the pattern alone. This is very, very important. I know a lot of the times, we used to say, I trade the setup, I trade the setup, I trade the setup. And me saying that, it really did make me trade every setup that I saw. And I personally don't think now, 5 years later, I don't think that's the right mindset. We shouldn't be taking every pattern or every setup. We need to be taking the setup that aligns with our confirmations. Give me an 8 if this makes sense for you guys. So I do not answer on the pattern alone. What I like to wait for, a clear counter trend break of structure or liquidity sweep followed by a change of direction, right? Liquidity builds up incentive. So I wish I can show you how, a drawing so this can make more sense. But just picture this, guys. If we're in an uptrend, right? Market gave us a BOS at the upside. We know we're looking for buys, but if we want a head and shoulder, we need to see an inverted head and shoulder. So if the market is consolidating, I need to see the market sweep liquidity or give us that counter trend BOS followed by a change of direction. Now, if we can get the BOS followed by a change of direction and maybe even some liquidity buildup, that's going to make me more confident to follow that trend, right? If we can have liquidity being built up, this builds incentive to continue higher, right? So pattern plus structure equals valid reversal. Again, these are simple drawings that we look through every single day. We look for on the charts every single day, right? This pattern is, I have this call on YouTube. I have, a whole, video. I have tons of videos breaking this stuff down, and you will continuously look at this and break this down. And as we continue to hop on these levels calls, right? But again, this is our bullish head and shoulder. So as you can see, the market was bearish or heading down. And this is important, guys. The very last break of structure that's followed by a change of direction. This is my left shoulder. Okay, the very last break of structure that's followed by a change of direction. This last BOS is my left shoulder. Okay, and this is what I want to look for. This is the pattern that I look for all the time to continue with these trends, right? To look for these reversals. And this is going to be the sell, the bearish head and shoulder. So we can see that the market is heading up, right? We have higher high, higher low. Market gives me a BOS and gives me another higher high. Now again, notice how this is the very last break of structure that's followed by the change of direction. When we have that very last, and you'll notice this is the last BOS. Why? Because this peak, the high, it'll be the last high. There won't be nothing higher than that, right? So the very last BOS, this is my left shoulder, and the high will be my head. Okay. Location and structure, what we need to wait for, right? And this is important, guys, and I've seen plenty of people slip up, being aggressive, trading every setup they see. Right, we need to wait for the market to come back down to our zones. We need to wait for the market to come down to our starting points or come down to a designated right shoulder. Right? We wait for our designated entry zone until market gives us the confirmation to trend direction. Now, again, I wish I can draw this out for you guys, but I can't right now. but we wait at our designated entry zone until the market gives us the confirmation to trend direction. What does that mean, guys? Let's say I have a starting point. Market gives me a higher high, higher low, higher high. We are waiting for the market to come back down to our starting point to continue. But let's say the market fails to come back down to my starting point and gives me an inverted head and shoulder, letting me know, giving me confirmation the market wants to continue with the trend direction. Give me a 6 if that makes sense. Because you guys know the markets will leave zones sometimes. The markets love to leave zones. So, how do we know the market is actually going to go ahead and take off? Well, if you understand BOS and change of direction, you will have a pretty good understanding of when the market wants to continue, right? Rules plus confirmation equals confidence. You wait for the market to come down to you. But if the market gives us confirmation to the trend direction, we can now start participating. Okay. Entry comfort checklist. And now notice I didn't just put entry confirmation checklist. This is an entry comfort checklist. Right? Everybody is different. You know what I want to look for, guys, might not be the same stuff that So wants to look for. And So is a really good levels trader. But she might want to see something a little bit different than me. So needs to go ahead and lock down the things that she needs to see. That way she can feel really comfortable taking her setups regardless of what anybody says. Maybe I'm looking for buys and she's looking for sells, but because she sees everything she needs to see, she feels comfortable taking those sells. Give me an 8 if that makes sense. So even though you follow these educators, right, and you follow some of the Powerhouse educators who are also very, very helpful and have their confirmation checklist in line, right, you need to build your own, right, add on top of theirs. And maybe it's just a little tweak, right, a little tweak. But those little tweaks go a long way when it's talking about comfortability in the markets, right? So before every entry, all must be true. Higher time frame bias and trend clear. Is the market in an uptrend or a downtrend, guys? I promise y'all, this is half the battle. This is like 50 to 80% of the battle in trading. The next 50 to 30% is waiting for a structure to give you confirmation. But if you know the market's in an uptrend, bro, we should be looking for buys. I want to continue with the buys. Right? I don't need to be the person to catch the longest counter trend. I don't care about that. If the market's been buying for the last year, if the market's been buying for the last month, if the market's been buying for the last week, for the last couple days, I want to continue buying and riding that trend. Okay? Liquidity. Has it been taken or targeted? Structure confirmed. Do we have structure confirmed? Do we have a BOS? Do we have a change of direction? Is our entry at a valid location? Is it at a starting point? Is it at a head and shoulder? Is it inside of liquidity? Right? If things are off, you need to go ahead and check this off or leave this empty, right? Does the risk to reward make sense? Guys, if we're in an uptrend and we're just in consolidation, do we have a BOS? No. So if we don't have a BOS, we should not be taking buys. If we're looking for a head and shoulder and we do not have a change of direction, we should not be taking some opportunities. If the higher time frame is buys and if the higher time frame is in an uptrend and you're looking for sells, this is unclear. Okay? If the market is consolidating and it's not really uptrending or downtrending, this is unclear, right? If any of these things, and again, this is just a simple layout, but you should create your own. If you have one of these missing, we wait, We stay patient for our confirmation to present itself. Give me a 10 if that makes sense. Guys, trading could be so easy. We make it difficult. A lot of the hard stuff that like, a lot of the hard or difficult things that in trading, we place it upon ourselves. This is how we take away all that negativity and simplify the trading for us. Okay? The final rules, right? Again, I don't only trade the setup. I'm not interested in every setup possible. That's how you get got. That's how you overtrade. That's how you over leverage your capital. Okay? I trade this is misspelled. I also trade the confirmations, right? So I don't only trade the setup, I also trade the confirmations. If I don't feel calm taking the trade, that is my answer. How many of you guys have been there, right? When you're looking for specific things in the market and the trade just looks iffy. It just doesn't look the best. You're trying to force things and you can feel it. You can feel it like in your soul, in your chest, bro. It's making you stress out before you even take this trade. Have you guys ever felt like that? Let me know. Have you guys ever felt like that? Let me know, guys. Very interested. Very interested in knowing. Because I used to feel like that. But when it comes to understanding what you need to see, if I can see everything, I'm not worried. I'm not stressing. If I can get every check, confirmation checked off my checklist, I'm feeling good about this trade, right? So if you're already having that anxiety, that stressful feel, the markets look unclear, you're not confident, guys, that is your answer to stay patient and wait for something that does bring more confidence. Give me a 1 if that makes sense, guys. Let's go, let's go. And I believe this is it. This is it for our um, PowerPoint. So again, this is mainly just, to open your mind and understand the things like what can we do to get better? Right? We can always level up. We can always, excuse me, we can always level up. We don't never have to stay stagnant. And at 2025, if it wasn't the best year for you, if you didn't feel like you hit the goals that you were trying to hit, if you could have done better, things like that, guys, this is where we start. We start to narrow down the bad habits that are holding us back and what are the good habits that are progressing us forward. Everybody on this call should do an audit in their trading, right? If you're taking a lot of counter trend sells, or if you're taking a lot of counter trend opportunities, how well are you doing with taking those counter trends? If you're not doing very well, then maybe you should stop taking those counter trends. Just by stopping doing something that you know is holding you back, it pushes you that much more forward. It progresses you that much more. All right, give me a 2 if that makes sense. A lot of the things we hold ourselves back, guys. Like we really do. And I'm not trying to point fingers because I've been there, right? But those bad habits really, really hold us back. So it really comes down to narrowing what we want to see. Does it make sense to you? Does this make sense with trend? And is it duplicatable? Can I see this set up again? Can I identify everything I need to see again? And we continue to run that over and over and over and over again. And the things that are pushing you forward, we continue to do those things. Everybody do audits. I encourage everybody to go look at their trading, do audits. If you're trading silver, gold, oil, indices, and those are your major losses, and those are the majority of your losses, then if once we stop trading those, we're going to see a lot more profits just off of the simple fact those where most of our losses come from. Very, very simple tweak. And I'm not saying you're going to stay off of indices forever. No, let's gain traction. Let's understand what we're doing first. Let's see the whole thing laid out. Let's see the plan, understand the plan. So when we're smacking these forex pairs, and when we go to indices and gold, it's literally like a walk in the park because we've seen it over and over and over and over again. And that's what we do here on these levels calls. You already know we look for the same thing over and over again, right? But that's it for my rant. I ain't a ranter. I don't want to pull a page out of Neri's book. Shout out to Neri. We need to do another call though, Neri. But who's ready for some charts? Give me a 10 if you're ready for some charts, guys. Give me a 10 if you are ready for some charts. Let me know. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. All right, let's go ahead. We will get over here. Let's see. We will look at US 30. All right, so let's go ahead and go to news real quick, right? First and foremost, right? We do have news tomorrow, right? 5:30 in the morning. We do have CPI, core CPI, CPI, all at 5:30, right? It looks like we have three pages of news, all at 5:30, and then we have new home sales at 7 o'clock. So not sure if this is going to help move the market a whole lot, but nonetheless, we do have important news at 5:30, right before market open. Wednesday we have more heavy news, and then Thursday we have some unemployment claims, which is some more heavy news. So you already know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, these 3 days are going to move the markets a lot. So we need to be ready and we need to be prepared. Okay, that's first and foremost. Now let's go to the US dollar. Let's back out a little bit. Right, we can see we have an aggressive push to the upside. Now, this was a daily starting point that I was looking at. We have a break of structure here. We are in a daily starting point. Oops. In a daily starting point right now. And as we drop down to lower time frame, again, guys, I'm not trying to this is still inside a consolidation. This is still, not the cleanest, um, you know, trading environment. So I want you guys to be aware of that. What I'm really waiting for is this gray zone here. We have left shoulder, head, we change direction, and then we just build up all this liquidity. So I wouldn't mind, if the market does want to continue going higher, making its way, cool. If we can get to this area, I would like to see if we can continue with this downtrend. So that's just something I want to keep in mind, guys, because I've been waiting for this zone for some time now, and it's just about waiting. It's trading is a crock pot game. You put your chicken in the crock pot at 8 in the morning. You go to work. You go to the gym. You come back at dinner time, and that thing is just about right. So it's about waiting and staying patient. Now, we respected this zone. We dropped to the downside. Let's go ahead and analyze. Again, this was a starting point that gave us the break of structure, so this is a valid starting point. Now, as we drop down, let's delete that. As I'm looking at this, I'm trying to ask myself, what looks better, the buys or the sells? Now, I'm not liking this liquidity here. I'm not saying the market can't respect. However, I don't like those equal highs. So if the market does want to continue, it kind of makes sense to go ahead, leave equal highs, drop down to the next designated buy zone to then continue going higher in the future. So this is what I'm looking at right now. I do see a little head and shoulder in here as well. This is what I'll be waiting for tomorrow, and I'll just see what's cooking up. We'll just have to wait and see. We do have a little starting point right here as well. we'll just have to see what's cooking up for tomorrow. Let me move my phone real quick. Right, because look at what the market is doing right now. We're dropping down a little bit, right? Or we're kind of like creating liquidity in this space. You know, we're creating liquidity. So tomorrow when we have news and we smack down, now we have to understand what's happening. Did we create liquidity here? Did it leave some incentive? Because if that's what's going to be happening, I would be looking for the market to continue with that uptrend. Now, once we get this change of direction, I would now start looking to continue this bullish bias with the dollar. And all that's going to be cooking up on this lower time frame. Now, again, all that stuff could be happening too. Let's go back. If we zoom out, a lot of this stuff just looks like liquidity, right? Liquidity. So nonetheless, you know, if we build up and we drop, and we drop, once we change direction and we get the setup we need to see, we can start looking for that dollar to give us some more bullish bias, right? So just keep that in mind. If this zone fails, it happens. This zone is what I really want anyway, right? So if the market comes down to this zone and then we respect and change direction off of this, guys, we can then see the dollar continue to the upside. Now, again, if we can build some liquidity, even if we go a bit higher, if we can go a bit higher, oops, let me see. Right, if we can even go a bit higher and like build more liquidity and then continue to drop, that gives me even more incentive because they're leaving liquidity, and there's a really good buy zone. So I would like to see if we can take that and continue with the bullish bias to the upside with the dollar, right? So it really all plans out to how the markets move in the morning. So if we don't get any change of direction or respect off this zone in the morning, you know, we can just sit tight and wait for some really good confirmation. But, you know, that's what I would be looking at for the US dollar as of right now. You know, um, and a lot of the times, you know, sometimes people want to catch the news breakouts. You know, everybody wants to try to catch, you know, the move to the downside or the move to the upside. But a lot of the times, you know, most of the time, like back test this, go look. When you're looking at news, heavy news days or heavy news weeks, usually the market has already respected a zone and has already given us some sign of bias. So when those news days comes, you know what happens? Boom, and then we continue going higher, right? So just keep that in mind. Let's see if we can get some more bullishness out of the dollar tomorrow. And again, this is just the first starting point. You know, there are starting points down here as well. And if we go to the higher time frame, you know, this whole candle is technically a starting point. So if the market does drop lower, it is what it is. Nothing we can do. But if it does respect this zone and change direction, we can continue to go higher. So just keep that in mind. But I would like to see if we can respect in this area. So let's go to US 30. US 30 did not respect the zone, but it also did create structure. And again, if you were taking that off the first touch, you know, you obviously got stop lossed out. I didn't even trade today, so I didn't even catch a lot of these moves. I usually don't trade Mondays. That's known, right? But look at the structure that's here. Let's drop down to the lower time frame. Look at this. Notice how the market is making its way, and then we start building consolidation. And then what happens? We spike the market down, and then the market makes its way back up, and we change direction, and now the market is continuing to go higher, right? So now we're stuck in consolidation here. Market hit this high, now we're stuck and moving sideways. I like this. If we can stay like that and we can head lower, I would like to see if we can get in here and shift that market higher. If we fail to get in here, let's say, because this happens, guys, like we all have to be on our tippy toes, right? We all have to be aware of what can happen. Let's say the market, you know, starts making its way down, gives us profit, and then smacks down one more time. Hey, you took a loss. It happens. But if we change direction, I want to start running my odds again. Right? You already know when you correlate all three trade or all three indices, usually one is going to hit stop loss, right? So you have to understand, is bias still intact? Are we still looking for buys? Yes. Especially if all three are looking like they're giving this setup, but maybe one snipes it, one gives a little bit of drawdown, and then one hits stop loss. But eventually they all give this setup. What do you think we're going to be looking for? I'm going to be looking for buys. Even if the market, there's going to be one that, snipes it, one that gives a little bit of drawdown, and then one that hits stop loss, and then we get that. So just keep that in mind. You have to be aware of what can happen and then what we need to see next. So I would like to see if we can get into this area, and I'm not opposed at all if the market goes lower. This is my second buy zone in this area. And if the market wants to go lower, that's fine by me. This kind of does look like liquidity, to be honest, too. So don't be surprised, guys, if the market just smacks through this, okay? This is why we wait for confirmation, because if the market does smack through both of these zones, then we just saved ourselves a loss because we didn't, we weren't the first ones in. But if the market makes its way down here and then we get confirmation, oh, bro, I'm running it. We're going to run it right here and send the market higher, right? So just keep that in mind. I love to look for inverted head and shoulders. I do see some in here, but if we can actually get a sweep of liquidity, I would not mind seeing if we can run this inverted and continue going higher, right? I hope that makes sense. So tomorrow, if you want to be a little aggressive, do your thing, but wait for confirmation. I'm a big fan of waiting for some confirmations. I already have these in play. Same thing with NAS 100. I see a lot of liquidity hanging out right here. I do see the market flowing to the upside. However, I really like this zone. So if we can get down to this area, I would love that. So if the market does drop and you take some losses tomorrow, bro, it is what it is. It's okay. Wipe your eye, wipe your tears, just lock back in. We'll find the new opportunity. This right here is all-time highs. Need BOS for new all-time high. Cool. So think about it, guys. If we can even get lower, right? Again, this is higher high, this is higher low. Right now the market's inside of here. Now, yes, I would love to see if we can continue, but what if the market just wants to start dropping down? If we can get down to these areas, this would give us a way better risk to reward to send that market higher. Because again, I still want to take these out. So if we can get in on something like this, I will be looking to swing this opportunity to the highs. And if we can get on something down here, I would like to see if, again, we can continue this swing to the highs. So if the market does drop, I'm not worried about it. We'll just wait for the confirmations to present themselves. And when they do, we will be looking to swing to new highs, right? Again, higher high, higher low. Let's see if we can make a new higher high, okay? That's my thought process on this. Indices are bullish, guys. There's no way to go around it. They've been bullish for years. Yes, they have corrections and pullbacks and things like that. And they may sell off sometimes, but overall, the indices are continuing, that bullish state. So let's continue to ride these buys. I like this buy overall. I feel like this one was a missed opportunity for us. This one here, very, very close, was a miss. And there was also a starting point right here that the market ended up tapping into and respecting. So I feel like this is a missed opportunity, but I'm gonna keep this here just in case the market does want to change direction off of it. Then I will see if we can continue. Um, this was a right shoulder that moved today. And as of right now, on the 1 hour time frame, this is our starting point, if I'm not mistaken. Let's delete this with the visual clarity. This is a BOS to the upside, at least on this 1 hour time frame. I'm just seeing, like, excuse me, a whole lot of liquidity. And it just doesn't look as appealing, right? This one looks very appealing, very appealing. So I'm gonna keep, I have alerts set for down here in case the market wants to go ahead and drop it like it's hot. I'll be set and we can ride these waves together. So just keep in mind here, guys, we do have a starting point here. However, the market doesn't look the cleanest. So same rules apply. If the market wants to go ahead and, give us the opportunity, great, we'll go ahead and take it. But if the market wants to go ahead and be a little butthole and wick it out and then change direction, then, it sucks. You might have to take a loss if you guys were taking the trades off the first touch. But if we can get this, we can shift that market and go higher, right? And that's some things you guys have to keep in mind that could happen on major news days, right? So if that does happen and we do hit stop loss, then, let's follow our rules and wait for, the things we need to see in order to feel comfortable taking these trades. But this is what I'm looking at right now, and we'll just have to look at some more structure in the morning. We may even take some sales depending on what the market gives us. Not opposed to counter trend trading, but it does look like we just took some liquidity here. And this move may take us down here. I'm just saying. So if that happens, y'all heard it here first. I'm just saying. Just saying. Right? So just keep that in mind. We'll just be updated on what the market wants to look like tomorrow. But we'll go ahead. Because let's go to US 30. Yeah, US 32. Like, it doesn't look the best. And this right here doesn't look the best. So we'll see. SPX. Right? We got 10 minutes. SPX. Indices are the same, guys. They're moving in an upward trend. I like buys down here a lot more. A lot more appealing for me, or even right here. I wouldn't mind if the market wants to go ahead and give me some of this action. I like that because we've been just building liquidity this whole time, kind of, pretty much just in that trend line, movement. Now, we did honor this starting point. We broke structure to the upside. Market honored the starting point, and we continued to go higher. Did we break structure to the upside? Not on this time frame. Let's go to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour time frame, we do. I'm going to delete this. We don't need this. Let's move this here. On the 1 hour time frame, we do. And we also have the inverted head and shoulder. So in this structure, even though that I don't really like this structure because of all this liquidity that is being built up, this is the valid structure in this area. This does give me everything I need to see. And this is the exact same thing, guys, right? Look at how we swept liquidity. If you were looking for buys, you probably hit stop loss in that area. And then the market continues. So stuff like this, left shoulder, neckline, head, we change direction and go higher. This would be the next opportunity that I would be looking at for buys. But again, guys, we never have to be the first one in. So because of this liquidity being built up and because we see major buys down lower, let's be cautious. On major news days, guys, everybody wants to be the first one in. But everybody hates losing money. And I already know, y'all know the chats. On good days, the whole chats be blowing up. All you see is blue screens, TP, snipe. But when this happens, hey, yo, that chat go quiet. What's up, Miguel? What's up, Miguel Bonero 16? What's up, twin? What's up, twin? You know what I'm saying, guys? So when the markets are in this zone, on major news days, it's okay to wait for confirmation. This right here gives you confidence. We here, baby. Let's go. This right here gives you confidence to continue that ride up, right? Especially if we boom smack stop loss, and then the market gives you a little bit of this action, bro. Even better, right? 2016, guys. It's the confirmation year for everybody. It's the confirmation year, right? And I believe that. I want everybody to trade based off of comfort, and comfort comes from confirmation, bro. Understanding what you need to see in the market to feel comfortable. This does not make me feel comfortable. So what can I do? Because I don't want to miss this trade. In order for me to feel comfortable, I'm going to go ahead and wait for a structure to build and change direction. Once I see this, I now feel comfortable taking this trade to send the market higher. Give me a 10 if this makes sense, guys. Because I do see it. I do see trend going higher. I'm not opposed. I do see us making new highs, right? Like I understand we are flowing to the upside. However, this liquidity, and when you understand higher time frame setups, these higher time frame setups markets always come back to them. It's just a matter of when, right? A matter of when. So keep that in mind. And I believe as of right now, this is the new all-time high. Let's go up. Yes, that is the new all-time high. So again, if this is the new all-time high, guys, and the market makes its way down here, let's delete this. And the market makes its way down here. Let's say the market does not want to honor this starting point and the head inverted. That's okay. You weren't wrong overall. You were just wrong today, and that happens. But we're still in an uptrend. That just wasn't the designated zone that the market wanted to respect. So if we can make our way down here, somewhere in various good discounted areas, and we can get this, guys, wouldn't you want to actually take this trade down here and ride it to the all-time highs? I would much rather take this trade because unfortunately, these TPs, they end here. Obviously, we do a 1 to 3, right? But following structure, ooh, bless me, guys. Whew, sorry, bless me, bro. Whew. Does that make sense? As the market drops lower, this gives us a better risk to reward, right? It gives us a better trade opportunity. So if we can get this, even better, right? Even better. So, hey, I want to look for buys. I really do. But if we don't get confirmation here, then I will wait for the market to present itself. I will wait for the market to present confirmation so we can go ahead and take these trades with confidence and send this back up. Right? Give me a 1 if this makes sense for you guys. Let me know. Let me know, fam. And y'all gonna see it. Y'all are gonna see it too. And I really hope that no one has to learn the hard way. But unfortunately, like most people do. I know I had to. That's why I'm saying it, right? Like, I used to say, year one, oh, confirmations, baby, confirmations. But I would trade off the first touch every zone like and over leverage like a degenerate. Taking every zone possible, over leverage like a degenerate. And you learn, like, bro, I'm just getting clapped. Like, I'm just hitting stop loss way more than I am winning. And you don't need to be a rocket science to see that. Stevie Wonder can see you're taking more losses than wins, bro. We can all see it, big dog. Right? So we all need to get better. And how can we do that? And that's just understanding when we actually have some really good confirmation. You know what? I don't mind missing the first move. If you want to test trade zones, that's cool. But again, I don't mind missing this first move. Again, let me repeat myself. I don't mind missing this first move right here. Because if the strategy works the way it's supposed to work, whether it's smart money or levels, if we get this structure here, we are waiting for the market to come back down to us. So the second opportunity is what I really want to what I really want to capitalize on. I really want to capitalize on this second setup here. Give me a 3 if that makes sense. Can you take this trade right here? Yes, you can. But if you don't feel confident, or maybe you woke up a little late, hey, that's okay. Mark up your zone, and if we can get our change of direction, This is the trade we really want to send that market higher. Give me something, guys. Fire emojis, thumbs up, the 100s. Does that make sense for you guys? Because I need this to make sense. Let me know, guys. If you have any question mark, if you are confused, give me a question mark. If you are confused, give me a question mark. And if you are confused, please explain to me with detail. Because I'm on YouTube, unfortunately, so I can't hear y'all. Next, and on Friday, I'm gonna do my best to stream on YouTube through Zoom. That way we can all interact, and I feel like that would be a lot better because there is a little lag with OBS and YouTube. And I would rather you guys unmute and ask questions anyways than reading the chats because it's a lag with me and you like overall, So, but any questions, guys? Any questions? This is what I'm waiting for the indices, and I will keep you guys updated. We do have some setups for the forex pairs as well, but I'll go ahead and send those into the chats. Any questions at all, guys, regarding what we talked about today? Let me know. Any questions at all regarding what we talked about today? Let me know. Let me know. Any questions, guys? Awesome. Awesome. Let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and close it off. Guys, I appreciate you guys for hopping on. I do take this time with you guys very, very seriously. I'm one of the oldest, educators within Powerhouse. I've been doing these live streams for like 3 years now, 2.5 to 3 years now. And, I take this very seriously. Breaking advanced things down to the most simplistic form, I take very seriously. And I want everybody to get better. I've studied for hours on top of hours, watched videos on top of videos, have notebooks on top of notebooks, and I have so much information in this brain. And I just want to give back and help everybody. So if anybody has any questions, if anybody has any markups they want to send for feedback, go ahead and send those in because that is how we get better, guys. That is how we get better. And it's the first of the month. I know y'all are like probably tired of me saying that, but guys, it's the first of the month, man. And if y'all don't take action now, the year flies like that, bro. Like that. If 2025 was like, whoa, I blinked and it was gone, imagine what 2026 can be like. I don't want that for y'all. I have a couple buddies in this space and it was like that for them. And I don't want that for nobody. Like, we all have control of our efforts. We all have control of asking questions. We all have control of getting our hands dirty and hopping on these calls. Excuses, they don't really fly with me personally, especially in this space, right? If you want to get into this space and, really do something, there's no room for excuses, Uh-oh. There's no room for excuses. It's just about getting the work done. 1 hour a day. Everybody can do an hour a day. And, I feel like that's doable. So, if you're watching this off of YouTube, man, give us a like, a follow, subscribe. Give us some feedback of what you liked, of what you want us to talk about a little bit more. Maybe what we could have done better. But give us a like, subscribe, follow, and let us know what educator you guys like the best. What educator gives the best value in your opinion or touches you in the way that you need to be taught, right? So let us know what educator that you rock with. That way we can go ahead and get you going and put you guys in the right place, right? So that is it for me, guys. You guys have a great trading week. Trade responsibly. Set in your setups. Ask your questions. And I will see you guys on Friday. Peace out, guys.